Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delay. We had a baby emergency, but I'm here now. We are doing free reads tonight again. Donations are open. There are no pre-orders at this time, so if you donate, you will be next. Get your questions posted, and I'll be back in about a minute or two, and we'll get started. Hey, Amy, welcome in. We are doing great. Thank you for asking. I hope you're having a good night. Hey, Amy, that sounds great. All right, so let's collect questions here. Baby is doing good. He's doing really good. We just got back from Texas last week. I can't believe it's already been over a week since we've been back, but we left for a week. That was a lot of fun. But that is the newest with us over here. Brennan is working a new schedule, so he has 3-day weekends now. So the most stable that I think I will have my schedule since Knox has been born is going to be that you should see me at least once, but maybe a couple times on the weekends from here on out, because he will be home Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for the longest time, I just have been in and out, not really sure like when I'm going to be here, just trying to get on this whenever I can. But I think this is the most consistent, at least over the summer and for the foreseeable future. We're going to try to make Fridays the day that I go live, so that way you guys have some predictability and some consistency in that. But I can't always guarantee it's going to be a Friday, but it should still be once or twice a weekend. Oh, thank you, Cake. That means a lot. Yeah, we went to San Antonio and we stayed in Canyon Lake, which, by the way, hon, we never went to the lake while we were there.
Oh, yeah. Not that you're talking to me.
Yeah, it was a good vacay. We did visit the Riverwalk, yes, briefly. That was a crazy night. I'll have to tell you later about it. But yeah, we did the Riverwalk. But I basically like lived in San Antonio my whole life. Like I spent so many summers there that the Riverwalk is just a place I've been a million times. But yeah, we did go there because my mom went with us and she hasn't been in a while. So we did stop in. We didn't get to walk the Riverwalk the way we would have liked because babies really threw all of our schedules off. We were visiting with 3 people who had 3 babies under the age of 1, including ours. So we had a lot of unpredictability. So we didn't get to do everything we wanted to do, but we had dinner at a place called Rita's on the Riverwalk. Yes, Cake, I'm really happy to have him home and for us to spend time together. So we figured we would do 1 day of working and errands, 1 day of stuff around the house, and then 1 relaxed day. And hopefully we can stick with that plan moving forward. Sophie, I was an hour away from you. That's cool. Yeah, I was telling my husband, it feels like a fever dream. Like, it doesn't even feel like we went. It feels like so long ago already. No, it was not extremely hot. Not compared to where I live now. I would say it was like decently warm and hot, but not like super. It was like fairly, I don't know, hun, what would you say? Just like normal hot? Nothing crazy?
No, there's definitely moments where.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when? I just remember being in the car a lot and the AC blasting, so maybe it didn't hit me as hard as it could have.
Yeah, definitely a few times.
But I will say, like in Texas, though, it's different because when you get in the shade in Texas, it's significantly cooler, like degrees cooler if you can find shade in Texas. But in Virginia, where I'm at now, shade doesn't really matter around here. You're just as hot in the sun as you are in the shade. It's just darker. This is a darker area. So there's definitely like ways to kind of escape the heat in Texas a lot better than I think on the East Coast, in my opinion. I did do SeaWorld over the summer when I was younger. Yeah, Rita's is really good. I got a Mango Madness, I think it was, drink. And I did the chicken fajitas, and that was really good. Yes, exactly. All right, guys. So let me get your questions. I have Amy, Sophie, Cake, Shara, Kate, Linda, Gally, and Nanny. So let me get your questions answered real quick. If I missed anyone, let me know, but I'm pretty sure it's everybody that dropped a question in. All right, so this is for Amy. Yes, Ace of Wands. Sophie. Hi, Booker. Sophie, no 8 of Cups. Are you getting itchy, Bubba? Whoa. Cake. I have a no 7 of Swords. Shara. Cake, he's like masking something. Just want to throw that out there. Seven of Swords is kind of like where you're masking or hiding something, some kind of secret or something along those lines. So, like, a loose translation would be he's not interested in women. Or it could be that he actually, I really don't know what it could be, but it's like he's avoiding something or hiding something. And that could be why. For Shara, I have a yes, Page of Pentacles. For Kaylinda, I have a yes, Page of Cups. For Galley, yes, Ace of Wands. Nannies, I have a no, Five of Pentacles. You're welcome, everyone. He's seeing multiple, but he told me he feels like once I have a baby and everything gets better for me, I'll leave him behind, and that's why he doesn't want to get attached. Okay, that could be it. Because like the Seven of Swords, you're welcome, Kaylinda. The Seven of Swords, granted, my example was very insane, but it's just like that's the energy is like I'm holding back, I'm keeping something, I'm masking, I'm in denial, whatever. So that's the energy. But again, the example I gave is a very extreme example. I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just trying to give a metaphor explanation as to, like, you know, I speak in metaphors when I do readings and take examples and stuff. All right, guys. So 3 minutes left of the free list, and then we're moving on to donations. Amy, are you going to type your questions here or on Instagram? Just let me know. I always do my reads, so I'm glad to... Or no, I always do my reads, so I'm going to have to get one on him. Okay. He just left out to meet the other girl, but I'm be delusional and say he's gay. Oh my gosh, you're funny. Yeah, well, I would say that if he is rejecting you in any way, it's not due to wanting another woman in place of you or something like that. It could just be maybe you've got other stuff going on in your life. That could be the reason. He could be in denial about something, so on and so forth. Shara, I want to say I got a yes for your question. You'll have to scroll back though, okay? I also wanted to remind you guys that I do have newer readings. I have 10 minutes of unlimited questions for $20. So if you have like fire round questions you want to ask, like 3 or more questions, and you want to get the best bang for your buck, definitely take me up on that. That's not something that I offer anywhere else but live streams. I don't even offer it on private readings. And then I also have added timing as an actual reading and channeled message cards as an actual reading. So if you're interested in any of that, that's an option now. And if you have any questions about this, just let me know. That makes sense, Cake. Shara, you're welcome. Thank you so much for always answering and being supportive. You're amazing. You're welcome. That sounds good. Okay, so that's it for the free list, friends. Thank you for joining in. I'm glad to see some new people on tonight, separate from my live stream that I did earlier. So I was able to answer more questions for more people. So that's cool. Amy, we're about to get started on yours. All right, BOGO 1 for Amy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you have a mix of, I guess, thoughts or opinions on students. Overall, I have the Four of Wands and Hierophant together. So they see you as a positive, like, leader or a positive authority figure, feeling that you provide a safe environment. And I think that they feel that do you guys, are you able to like celebrate things, like have classroom traditions, celebrate birthdays, have like, or like anniversaries or anything like that? Is there anything you do over, because I think that they feel like celebrations are very like important to you or something, or like you like to make these things known, either maybe it's like you celebrate them. I'm not sure, but there's something here that's basically saying that like traditions and celebrations is important to you. Um I feel like with the Hierophant, they're saying that you know what you're doing. You might be looked at as fair or knowledgeable, as like just someone that people can look up to or look to, because the Hierophant is kind of like you're doing the right thing, you're doing things fairly, they feel comfortable around you because they feel like they understand you or you understand them. But the Hierophant can also have this like minor subtle undertone of someone who is a leader, someone who kind of takes charge amongst a culture or amongst a group of people. Maybe they would say like you're a good teacher or whatever your title is, that everybody knows and understands the rules. The classroom feels good. The classroom feels nice. Um, I think also they would say you are very nice and you create a really great culture and a really great environment of the summer camp. I think that there's some kids that feel like the way you explain things is easy for them to understand. So, for example, if you were teaching, if like a kid said, "I need help with this, I don't understand it," if you explained it to them, that kid would say, like, the way she explained it made sense. The way Miss Jane Doe explained it, I didn't understand it. But the way Miss Amy explains it, I understand it. Like, you have a way of kind of getting down their level and kind of understanding how they need to learn something, and or how they need to understand something, and you provide those like aha moments for them. You're emotionally supportive and encouraging, and I think that you're very clear, and I think that you're very direct. I also feel like the class might feel at times that you're fair, but you have to do everything. Like, you always seem busy. Like, there's always some task at hand or something that needs to be done. Or maybe they feel like they can't have your undivided attention at all times. Like, maybe sometimes you're carrying the whole class or carrying the whole load. I know that it's summer camp and maybe things are a little bit more laid back and a little bit more chill, but there may be some students that feel like they don't get your undivided attention. You said you be there for when events happen, especially if it includes students doing something is shown, right? So they feel celebrated is kind of what I'm getting. They say you do a good job. You're almost always busy, yeah. Even though this time you have better staff, I still feel busy. That's what they're saying. Like, she's always busy. Like, she's nice, she's fair, but she's always busy. Did he drop his circle on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay. Now kids can be surprisingly perceptive about adult stress. I remember this when I was a kid, that I would always perceive if like my parents were under stress or something was going on. Like, no matter how hard you try to hide, if you're overwhelmed or busy or burdened or feel pressure or overworked or whatever, like kids will see it. You can try to hide it as much as possible, but like, it's just they're gonna see it. So if you're busy, it's reading as that you're busy. I feel like you provide consistent standards. You feel like everybody's treated. You make everybody feel treated the same way. You don't pick favorites. And like, I mean, if you have your favorites, you don't let it be known. But I feel like they feel like everyone's treated the same. Like, everyone has the same rules that apply to them. Everyone has to accord to those rules, etc., etc. But I feel like maybe sometimes they look at you as someone who has a lot on their plate. And then I think there are some students that are just kind of like, I do my own thing. Maybe you are maybe these are the kids that are extra sensitive, that feel like they need like the extra attention and feel like maybe they don't get that notice from you as much as they could. So maybe if you're looking for advice here, which I don't think you are, but if you're looking for advice, maybe seek out the kids that you typically don't and see if there's anything that they need. But other than that, those kids might just be extremely independent, maybe disengaging. Maybe they have their own boundaries that they set and they just like to do their own thing. Whatever. I also think that these children are very perceptive. So if there's something that you're trying to like keep from them, like if they know that you're not telling them everything. So for example, like let's just say a teacher is sick or something like that and they called out, or a teacher isn't, I'm just giving an example, in school because they're on bereavement leave. You're not going to tell them, oh, someone in their life died, but they can probably figure it out. But I still think that overall they look at you as someone very competent, caring, fair, knowledgeable. I feel like there's a lot of respect for you. You command respect. You're warm. You're inviting, community building. I think that, other than them seeing you carry a heavy workload and certain ones feeling like they're a little bit distant, otherwise, I think that you have a really great impression And almost like a dominant impression, someone who works really hard, someone who's a good leader. But maybe at times you just are busy, you've got a lot on your plate. So you said you try your best. You tell me you don't have favorites, even if you do. I think it's kind of hard sometimes to not have like a soft spot for certain kids over others, but it's just their personality and the way that you connect. It's like any human in the world, you're going to have your favorites, right? You're not just going to marry anyone. You're going to have your favorite and then you're going to marry that person. So I think it's just human nature. Oh, that's funny. All right, so that's what I have for that question. Let's look at your BOGO 2. You can hear him. He was laughing on the other live stream. Are you talking? They say they can hear you, Bubba. He is. So I have the 10 of Wands in the 4 of Cups. That's telling me that he feels that you are attractive in a quiet, natural, understated way rather than a flashy one. So it's making me think about how when you had said that you had like dressed a certain way. I don't know if you took a snap or sent a picture or whatever, but it was like you weren't getting a lot of the I guess response you were looking for. And I think it's because he feels like you're attractive when you are not like trying really hard. I think he definitely finds you attractive in all different ways. And I think that in that picture he was like, this looks good, but he felt maybe like it was a little bit like overdone, or a little bit, the response that you were looking for was a little bit forced. Like, I think that he thinks you look just as beautiful in sweats and your hair tied up, you know? Like, I think that for him, he's saying that you're the most attractive when you're just like not even trying. And I think that's really beautiful. I think that he feels like you may carry, and this is such a weird thing to say, but he feels like the way that you carry yourself physically, like you may carry tension, like in your posture, your shoulders, your expression, maybe things of like the past essentially could be like in your physical body and the way that you carry yourself, like your emotional history or past disappointment. So the way that you walk and the way that you carry yourself, maybe your gait or whatever, like he feels like he feels like you're carrying some kind of tension is what I'm getting. And it's not necessarily like positive or negative. I think it's just an observation. You said you can be a bit tense. I feel like he just likes when you're not flashy or attention seeking. I think that he likes the understated, attractive quality. So maybe for him, like he doesn't need a picture. Maybe he just wants to see you in person, or maybe he just wants to see you with no makeup or something. I feel like he feels you're very independent, very self reliant. I think that sometimes he can feel like he doesn't read you like emotionally very well, because you come across very nonchalant, like you're kind of like, well, you know, we'll see each other if we see each other, if not, no big deal. And I think sometimes, because for you and your personality, you want to come across a little bit unattached, a little bit aloof, because you want to make sure that you're not applying pressure or making someone feel like you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself, or whatever the reason is. But I think sometimes he would like to see you stand on one side or the other. Like, you know, if you like him, stand on that, is kind of what he's saying. If you really don't care, that's fine too, but like, say what you feel, say how you think. And I think that when he sees you in person, that's when he feels like he gets the real you. I think sometimes when he is talking to you virtually, like online, via text, FaceTime, whatever, like I feel like he feels like he's not getting a full read on you, because sometimes maybe you seem like you just are unattached, or that you are just like, take it or leave it. It is what it is. I don't really care. But I think deep down, maybe you do. I think that that's why he likes these in-person encounters, right? I think that's why he likes seeing you in person. He said, right. In reality, I'm like, I want to see you. And I've told him I want to see him more in person, and always like when he visits. Yeah, I think that's good. I think he likes when you have a stance. I think he likes when you have an opinion. He's like, fine. If she's truly nonchalant, if she truly is, then that's fine, if that is who she is. But I would prefer if she would just speak what she's thinking, or speak what she's feeling. You know, obviously within reason. You don't want to like be weirdo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope you get what I'm trying to come across. Like, you, within reason, with whatever is appropriate. But if you basically what I'm saying is, if you care, act like you care. If you want to see him, tell him you want to see him. Don't be like this in between, like, oh, I don't really care. It's fine. Either way is fine. I think he likes to see you have an opinion, and he likes to see you have a stance. He says you have very natural beauty rather than dramatic beauty. He doesn't care if you're all done up. You're luminous. You have a glow. You have a very gentle, present maybe like striking eyes. We have the Star and the Hermit here. So very peaceful, like a peaceful aura, a peaceful energy, attractive in a way that grows on people rather than demanding attention immediately. He's like, you're soft, you're like a flower. I don't know, like these are just the descriptions that are coming to my brain for some reason. He really likes that you're reflective. He likes that you have depth to you. He likes that you're authentic. He's reading as you as someone who needs time alone, just as much as you need time with people or in a social group. He feels like you're kind-hearted, and even though you're very much like welcoming, he feels like you're selective with who you let get close to you. I do think that there's a certain aspect to you that's a bit mysterious and a bit difficult to read for him. Maybe not to other people, but to him specifically, which may be why he likes you being more direct. And not to throw this out there, but I do know that like people, for instance, who have like social awkwardness, who are on the spectrum, who have just like basically social quirks, etc., they probably like more of a direct approach. Like they like when you're just straightforward and honest. They don't like the beat around the bush kind of energy. So I'm not sure if that's this guy, but that's kind of how it's reading, is that he just wants you to be very direct with him. He doesn't want to have to read between the lines or figure it out. He just wants you to say it how it is. So sometimes it may be difficult for him to read you. So I would say, again, if you're not looking for advice, just let it go. But if you are looking for advice, just make sure that you're more direct. Like if you care, act like you care, kind of thing. I think that he's really into your eyes. Like I keep getting that you have features that draw attention to your eyes and your facial expression. So it's either like the looks that you give, the way that your face moves, your eyes themselves, something along the lines draws his attention upwards. And I feel like he very much likes your eyes, or like your eye area, I guess you could say. He feels like you're very private, and he likes that. He likes that you don't just kind of let it all out there. You're very picky, kind of like how I said earlier, you're very selective. I can't remember like how I worded it, but basically like you're very selective about who you let get close to you. I feel like he feels like you're grounded. You come across healthy. You come across in a very like old-fashioned way, like good breeding. An approachable attractiveness, right? I think that's all I'm getting here. You're coming across self-contained as well, like calm and self-contained. So it seems like he doesn't think you have unhinged behavior. He feels like you have a good head on your shoulders. You're responsible. You're dependable. And I think that he thinks you're looking for something real and stable. Like, I think that he feels that like you are looking for a relationship. I think that's how he perceives you. And I think that the more he gets to know you, your appeal grows even more and more than it was from the beginning. Also, sorry if you didn't hear that. I can repeat it. Right. I get what you're saying. Like, and that's the thing. It's a fine line between being overbearing versus being direct, because you may feel all the feels and want to be very much like, oh my God, I'm so into you, da 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 da. But like, there's an appropriateness, right? So, like, if you guys are new, still in the talking stages, had some moments together, whatever, I think that it's fair to say, I really love spending time with you, and I like really just can't get enough of like hanging out. I think that would be appropriate. Now, if you say like, I'm obsessed with you and I want to wear your skin, then we're getting into creepy territory. You get what I mean? I think he wants that directiveness. Like, he wants you to be direct with him, but just make sure that you're not being like overbearing with it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So don't come across aloof if you care. Don't come across like you're not interested or attracted if you are. Don't do like the opposite of what you're feeling. Stay on the side of what you're feeling. Stay on, like, have a stance. but, you know, don't become obsessed, right? If that's the word I'm looking for. He's a Pisces moon with a Scorpio sun. I've got a Pisces and a Scorpio over here in my life, not a sun. Well, yeah, I actually have a Scorpio sun. My son is a Scorpio sun. My husband's a Pisces moon. So I got two of those over here. Well, we assume my husband's a Pisces moon. We don't have the exact time of birth, unfortunately. But we have as close as we can get, probably. He believes that about you, that you're picky with who you let in your life. He believes that. Him knowing his exact time of birth is awesome. I wish I knew my husband's. And I wish I knew my sister's. Like, my husband and my sister, I would argue, are like the most close relationships that I have in this lifetime. And I don't know either of them. No clue. And I think it's because they were both born in Virginia. Virginia doesn't put timestamps on the birth certificate. Like, I was born in California and my birth time is on my birth certificate. But my husband and my sister are both born in Virginia and it's not on there. My son was born in Virginia and his is not on there. So luckily we know when time he was born. We just know. But I think Virginia is just like messed up like that. They just don't put the time of birth for some reason. Do I see that he sees you as a future relationship? I feel like I'm having a hard time answering that question because when I pulled the cards, I was looking at how he looks at you, like as a person, and how he views you as a person and like physically. So I feel like the only way I can answer that question is that he sees you as a person of value and he sees you as someone who has all the qualifications he would be looking for to be in a relationship. So he feels like you meet the checklist of what he's looking for and that you are relationship material. But I don't know if with the cards I pulled, if I can answer that question, like that he wants a relationship with you or he thinks he will want a relationship, because I was more so focused on like personality and like how he looks at you and what he thinks when he looks at you as a person and a personality and a physical attractiveness. So I can only look at like how he perceives you to answer that question. And I can see that he perceives you to be a person of like relationship material. But I don't know if I can ethically answer the question that he would want to be in a relationship with you or sees a future relationship from his perspective, because that's not the question I asked, or like that's not the cards that I pulled. Yeah, we can do that for sure. Just let me know when you send it over. I'm gonna have to feed him soon. All right, I got a mini. Okay, so let's explore that aspect. Is he doing it again?
All right.
You know what we didn't do? They got 1 second, Amy.
Oh my.
All right, let's explore this aspect for you. Does he see her as a future relationship? Yes, definitely. Definitely. I don't think, to be honest, he would be pursuing this if that wasn't on the table. But every reading I've ever done about this, like about your connection with you guys, you always get like 2 of cups, ace of cups, like something kind of like relationshipy. And I'm getting that again. So I think he's a relationship guy. That's what I think. And I think that he does things for you that he wouldn't do for other people if he wasn't interested in you. I think, though, that it might take 3 months before he's ready to make things official. And as I've said in the past, that is not a bad thing. That is, my husband and I have been together over 10 years, and that's how we started. Honestly, it didn't feel slow. I felt like, hun, we knew each other for 3 months before we became official, but it didn't feel like a long time, right? Like the 3 months that went by, didn't it feel? You just don't remember. I can put myself back in that spot, and I don't feel like it went by super slow or anything. So I would say, Amy, like for him, that's the direction it's heading. And I think that you're going to see things from him that indicate that that's the direction it's heading for him. by the things that he says. Does he want to introduce you to his friends, his family, the people that are important to him? Does he talk about the future? Does he talk about like, oh, well, in August, there's this show that I want to go to. I'd love for you to come with me. Like, does he speak about the future and involve you in those things? Those are like the little signs you're going to see that he's seeing this long term. But I think that is always in the back of his mind, that is where this could end up, that is a potential. I have the Nine of Cups and the the Nine of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups that came out together. And that's like the reward at the end of this. That's like life of leisure, happiness, relationship. Like basically you've done the work. So now here's your reward. Here's your payoff. The relationship you wanted, the love life you were looking for. I think with the Six of Pentacles, he just wants to make sure you guys are on the same page every step of the way. But the center of the reading is the Two of Cups, meaning that he wants union. He wants a relationship. Like, I think that is absolutely like the thing in the back of his mind at the end of all of this, that is like the direction you guys could be heading towards. Okay, bless. My God, that's funny. Well, Amy, what I will say, if I can be completely honest with you, since the jump, since I've done readings on him for you, he has consistently been the one that I'm like, this is over all the other ones I've done readings on. I feel like he's the one that's going to turn into a relationship. If I go off of what I've been feeling about this person since the beginning, I think that he's the one that would turn into a relationship. My goodness. See, people don't just do stuff like that if they're not interested. So, yeah. So I think you don't really have anything to worry about too much here. I think you just gotta enjoy one another, and yeah. Does that put your mind at ease? I hope it does. Perfect. All right. Well, I do have to feed this little guy, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here. I think that'll be it for me for tonight. If I can be back tomorrow, I will be. And of course, I'll make a post about it if I am. You're welcome, Amy. Awesome. Have a good night. I'll talk to you later.